another episode of Lucy's Quick One. Did you see what happened? Like, did you see it? Let's get into the news, people. So the story of the lady with the blue eyes, I'm sure a lot of people have seen it. In fact, some people were like, God, when? Now, there's this lady who has blue eyes and then she has kids, and then it was reported that this lady was abandoned by her husband, and then people came around her, gave her food, gave her money, they had a photo shoot and all that. But people were wondering, where is this said husband? Now, his name is Abdul Wasiu, and he was interviewed by Punch. And he came out to reveal that this lady, what she's saying is not what it is per se, because people came out to bash the man. And he came out to actually say that Risikat, that's the name of the lady, actually, is wayward and that she is not content.
Òbí mi ò sọ fún mi pé ojú tọ́mọ yẹn ní níbi kí n filẹ̀. Èmi ló sì gbèsè pé ojú tó ní mo fi fi ọmọ ilé tí ojú tó ní yẹn gangan náà mo fi ọmọ yẹn gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọwé ó dẹ̀ rí náà. Ojú yẹn dẹ̀ kílẹ̀ àkàrà ọmọ tó gbójú ẹ̀ wá gan inú mi dùn ni súnmọ́ bí láìla sí láwà káà tó ọmọ bàbá gbójú ẹ̀ wá ó máa dùn mí gan.
Mo gbọ́ rí pé wọ́n sọ pé ọkọ mi sọ pé mi ní tẹ́lọ́rùn ni òun ṣe fi mí lẹ̀ pé kò ń ṣe torí ojú o. Ìkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ni pé torí ojú ni o.
Ó jẹun náà lọ pariwo tó ní fóun ó jẹun náà ní sí ó jẹun náà ní jẹ tó ní òun tó lóun ò jẹ. Ọlá pé nẹ́nìkan kan ni táwọn bá ní àwọn èèyàn tó sàngì ni mo ti lọ gbé wọn kì í ṣe ní ọdún kì í sì ṣe lóṣù every day wàláhì tàláhì súnmọ́ bí láìla sí láwà ó kulẹ̀ tí wọ́n sùn tí mo wà yìí ìmọ̀ gbẹjọ lọ wọ́n fi ìyẹn bà mí jẹ́ wọ́n wọ́ láàgìgì wọ́n wọ́wọ́ gìgì láfẹ́ máa gbà lọ́wọ́ àwọn èèyàn.
You see what I'm talking about? Now, Wasiu's revelation sparked a whole lot of reactions on social media. The funny thing is, some people actually believed Wasiu and then they agree with him, saying that, looking at the way she was smiling and the way she was looking, it looked like she did on purpose and that she actually had an agenda. But on the other hand, we had people saying that, why is Wasiu speaking right now? Wasiu is only speaking because now his wife is popular and he's trying to gain PT party. That's why he's talking right now. But one argument that has been on the lips of a lot of people is that should Risikat go back to Wasiu? Like, should she go back to her marriage with this man? And I'm like, okay. I feel that Risikat should do whatever is best for her, whatever she feels right now, because just like the case of Olajumoke, if you remember the lady, the bread seller, this is another case. And I feel that she should just do whatever works for her. If she feels that going back into that marriage is what would be best for her, of course. But if she feels that she's better off without her husband, now she talk out, no baby talk out. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Do you think she should go back to her husband following all the drama, or do you think she should just move on with her life? I'm still talking about marriages. Blossom Chukwujekwu and Maureen, like these people, their separation, it touched my heart. Now, during the week, Maureen came out to officially reveal that their separation is now official. Now, she also came out to address certain rumors that have been going around the air that, some people were saying that this is the Kokonini Roi. This is the reason behind their separation, because there was no explanation whatsoever, so people had to make up stories. So Maureen came out during the week to state that some of these rumors, or most of these rumors, are not true. And then she came out to explain that, number one, there was no form of domestic violence in the marriage, and to the best of her knowledge, two, nobody cheated on anybody. And then three, that Blossom was not willing to have kids, and she wanted kids. She even wanted to adopt, but Blossom was not just having the idea of having kids. And it really got me confused, because I wonder, what is that thing you talk about before you get married? She went on to also state that Blossom made her the last person to find out about their divorce or separation. Like, she was the last person to find out about it, and that when Blossom came out to even explain the reasons behind the divorce or separation, she just found it as very baseless, and people started talking. People were like, hey, men has come and all that. And I was like, wait, because we already heard one side of the story. We have not heard the other side. We might not even ever hear the other side of the story. But one thing I noticed about Maureen is that she didn't insult her husband. She didn't drag him. She just made her opinions or made certain things clear or certain things known. And the interesting thing about this whole thing, we might wake up tomorrow and find out that Maureen and Blossom are back together, and they will just be like, it does happen. Let me know what you think about this story in the comment section. Big Brother Niger. I'm just going to say one or two things because I have a guest coming through very soon. I'm going to say one or two things about that. I thank God that tennis prayers for Lekon is working. But I found out that some people outside, now they make you join a WhatsApp group and they make you post, about the housemate, asking other people to vote, and then they pay you for posting about the housemate. Like, people are legit making money from this whole Big Brother Niger thingy, and it's so interesting. Trust me. I have my guest. Her name is Okiyi Victoria. She is an author, and in fact, she's my friend. Hi, Victoria. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, you're not that calm, or you're just planning. You're pretending to be calm right now. I know. Victoria, let's quickly look at your book, Copper We. That's your debut publication, right? I'm going to be asking one or two things about that book. The first thing that attracted me or allowed me to read that book is when you talked about your experience at the orientation camp, where you refused to actually date this guy called Ezra. Like, can you please just explain why you decided to lock your heart, according to you?
When I was going for service, I actually had this talk from people, uncles, aunties, friends, and all of that, after getting 4.0 at the University of Ibadan, that I should try to open up my heart and all of that NYSC was a very good place to meet people. And sincerely, I was open. I was just like, okay, no problem. But after like 2-3 days in camp, and I interacted with the guys, the kind of stuffs that were coming out from their mouth, the kind of acts, I'm like, my husband is not here. I am so sure of that. My husband cannot be here. Okay. Not on this ground.
Okay, but this happened in 2016, right?
Yes.
And then you published your book in 2020, right?
Yes.
Were you writing while you were serving, or you wrote after service?
I started writing from the very first day of service, but I stopped at a point. Shortly after camp, I stopped. The only reason I was able to gather was because I'd written some things before. But for every time I picked it up, just know that someone else saw it and thought it was good enough. So I just kept up.
That's what I was saying. Because to be honest, I really don't. I don't like reading, because we went to the same university. I don't really like reading, but when I picked the book, the first 2 stories, I was like, this is quite interesting, and then it kept me. Now let's quickly go, because you said in Imo State, and you talked about the Owerri factor. You talked about the fact that there are a lot of hotels, there are a lot of prostitution, and then the road is bad. Like, is everything bad about Imo State? Let's understand.
From my point of view, at a point, I really did not see anything good anymore. But I must state that in the middle of service here, I began to have a little change of orientation. One, the PPA I served in gave me another view to the Owerri people. And then the church. If you recall, I mentioned that I worked with teenagers.
You talked about the bush baby. Now, this bush baby thing, I haven't seen. While I was in secondary school, I hear people say bush baby and all that. But you talk about the fact that there was a bush baby where you stayed. Please, can you explain?
It was just a one-night off encounter like that.
Off.
Okay. So around maybe to 9, I heard the cries of a baby. And the cries were intermediate, crying. But we didn't have a baby in the compound. Neither did we have anybody that had a baby. So I was thinking maybe one of our neighbors had a visitor that had a baby. So I was going to step out to actually tell the person that, please attend to this child. The child is really crying. And as I was about stepping out, somebody's asking me, where are you going to? I want to go and look for who has a baby.
Right.
And then it looked as if everybody in the room knew what was going on except me. And then somebody's like, that's a bush baby. And I said, oh, a bush baby. How? And how did you know it's a bush baby? Like, the cry was exactly like that of a baby, a normal baby. That was the person, the baby was crying. The only thing is that the cries were persistent, and just when you think it's about to stop, it starts again on another new level.
Wow. So apparently, from your experience and how the events that led to Angelina falling sick and all that, they were all as a result of the bush baby. Is that
According to them, that was what they said. Me, I don't know.
but from the experience, do you believe that bush babies exist?
Yes. Sometimes we have to fight these things, but then there's the supernatural, and we also have to admit that there's the supernatural. We might not know so much about them, but they exist. And I think that the bush baby, Madame Koi Koi, whatever, they are all maybe different faces of the supernatural at different levels. I don't know.
Okay, still talking about your book, because at the end of your book, Copperweed, The Chronicles of a Core Member, you actually argue that you feel that the essence of NYSC is one of the reasons Nigeria is still together. And you know, a lot of people have called for NYSC to be scrapped, people saying that it's a waste of time. Do you still believe that NYSC should still remain in this country, looking at the way things are going in the world right now, especially in Nigeria?
Well, it's unfortunate that shortly after I wrote the book, there is now a pandemic that almost makes it impossible now, irrespective of ethnic or the national issues that we have as a people. Now the issue on ground is even more powerful.
Bigger, yeah.
But really, based on my experiences, I really think that whatever can be done to ensure that the scheme still runs should be done. Because I'm just one out of so many other Nigerians that would probably never have an opportunity to meet people from other tribes or other ethnic groups, as it were, or religion. And we've been fed with stereotypes. And so we just carry on with these stereotypes. And whether we like it or not, it affects our everyday interaction with people. And for me, there was a paradigm shift after service year.
Yeah, you stated in your book.
How I relate with people, how I think of them. Fine, the stereotypes or the stereotypic information did not just clear off suddenly. But after service year, I began to give people opportunity to actually prove who they were before I begin to treat them in a particular way. So I think that service year is a good scheme, although it requires a sort of revision. It's a good one.
Before I let you go, you mentioned Goke. Now, Goke was a character. Oh, Goke was a character that started from the university. You went to serve and you met Goke, and you and Goke had one or two things to do when it comes to education. Is there a future for you and Goke? I just want to know now. For those who have not read the book, you should go and check it out. There's no future. There's no future.
Okay, so Goke is still very much alive, and I'm still very much alive. So there's a future, like alive.
You know what I mean by would there be a romantic relationship between you and Goke?
I don't think so.
Okay, it's fine. Thank you so much, Victoria, for this interview. I wish you very well with your debut publication. I can't wait for the next one because I hear that I'm one of the characters in your next book, and I can't really wait for that to actually happen.
In a couple of weeks, hopefully.
Okay.
All right, bye.
Thank you. That was Okiyi Victoria. She's the author of the book Copperweed, The Chronicles of a Core Member. If you have not read that book, you should. Especially for those that are planning to serve our nation, Nigeria, and you want to understand some of the things that happen behind the doors, you should actually grab a copy of that book. And with that, we come to the end of this week's episode of Lucy's Quick One. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe and, of course, share this love because I got you with all the news this week, next week, and always.